Welcome to a podcast about something where each week we talk about whatever it is we're interested in. I'm your host, Calvin, and joining me from an empty airplane hangar with, for some reason, Roy Hibbert and Detlef Schrempf, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
That's Nick Richardson of Entertainment 720.
Entertainment 720.
720!
Where dreams come true.
They come true. We harmonize each other. That's how we do it. Entertainment 720.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
We go around the world for our clients twice.
2
times.
So we're here to talk about Parks and Rec's own Entertainment 720, the multimedia conglomerate founded by Jean-Ralphio Saperstein and Tom Haverford in late season 3, early season 4 of Parks and Rec in Pawnee, Indiana. There's not much to say about it other than it's where dreams come true.
It's one of the most iconic companies of our time. Most innovative, all-encompassing media conglomerates in the Midwest.
We're going to talk about what went into the founding of it. We're going to talk about how it fell. We're going to talk about some of the events thrown by Entertainment 720, some of their business plans. We're covering it all. And maybe some extra stuff from seasons 3 or 4 of Parks and Rec, because I don't know when we're going to come back to Parks and Rec, and I've got some thoughts that I need to get out there.
Dude, I have a ton, and I've watched Parks and Rec probably 50 times, so there's that. I'm well-versed in...
There's just a lot of things going on. I'm sure we'll visit it again sometime. It's like The Office. There's things to come back. It's just we got to find topics to talk about. Entertainment 720 is the perfect way to get started, to pop our Parks and Rec cherry. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about the founders of Entertainment 720? As mentioned, Tom Haverford, Jean-Ralphio Saperstein. What do they bring to the table for this company?
Tom Haverford, Tommy T Money,
Tommy Timberlake.
Tommy Timberlake, T Dizzle, T Dazzle. He goes by many names, but he is a suave entrepreneur. He basically is an idea man, and Entertainment 720. Yeah, it's his baby, and his dim-witted friend Jean-Ralphio Saperstein, who's open-minded as hell. I promise I won't sing too much in this episode, but he's funny as fuck. They're basically two peas in a pod, and they come up with all these harebrained ideas, and they enact them, mostly with Jean-Ralphio acting as the bank and Tom acting as the idea man.
Got run over by a Lexus.
He got it the old-fashioned way, by a Lexus. I mean,
he's a trust fund kid, and he made his money the old-fashioned way.
That's how they do. But yeah, they're very unique characters. Tom Haverford is played by Aziz Ansari. His
just
brand
fantastic.
Of comedy. Oh man, he's
I love Aziz
perfect.
Ansari so much. Like I know that there's some Me Too-ish swirling around him. It's not like full Me Too. It's like somebody had a bad date with him and threw him under the bus. The jury's still out on what actually happened there. But I've always loved Aziz Ansari. All his comedy specials. Master of None is a great show.
Super good show.
He had like bit parts in Apatow movies for a while, and he was always great in those too.
I never really remembered his bit parts until Parks and Rec came along.
My favorite one, and he did a full, like in his first stand-up special, he did a full 8 minutes as this. It was in Funny People. He was Randy. 80s. He was just like a up-and-coming comedian, same as like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill's characters in Funny People. And he stopped his whole show to just do 8 minutes of Randy, which was great. Because it's a little bit of Tom Haverford mixed with like regular Aziz Ansari. So.
Oh, that's a fucking trip.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was good stuff.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Post the link, good sir.
Yeah, I'll do that. Or at least the name of the special. I think it's probably on Netflix.
Yeah, probably.
And then Jean-Ralphio, played by Ben Schwartz, BB-8 himself.
Soon to be Sonic.
I
think he'd do a good Sonic voice. I like the voice coming out of Sonic.
I like Ben Schwartz. I don't have as much to say about him as Aziz Ansari. He obviously hasn't done as much. He's kind of just like this bit part guy in a lot of different things. But he's really funny, especially as Jean-Ralphio.
Oh, dude, not going to lie. I like him way more than Tom Haverford. Aziz Ansari's Tom Haverford, because he is so funny and just out there.
And they use him perfectly.
Oh, they don't
overdo it. It would have been easy like the first couple of times the studio gets a good reaction from him, and they're just like, all right, shove him in everywhere, make him a regular character, let's put him in every episode, and they don't do that, to their credit. And they bring in his sister, Mona Lisa.
Oh, who's later. Even... I can't stand her ass.
She's the worst.
I can't stand her ass. Not even a little bit.
She's bad.
She's not that funny, in my opinion. I don't know why I like John Ralphio. Yeah.
Jenny Slate's pretty funny, too.
I fucking hated her in Venom. Hated her. Could not stand it.
She didn't do anything.
It's a symbiote? It's like...
Yeah,
what?
That was rough.
It's like, what?
Also plays Miss Nanny in the Muppet Babies. So, there you go. Anybody with kids out there that's watching Muppet Babies as much as I do.
Is she a real-life person or a puppet?
She's like the teacher of the daycare that all the Muppet Babies go to.
See, what we need is her as her Parks and Rec character doing that. That would be comedy gold.
But if somebody on YouTube can put that together, let me know, because
I'll give you $50. I'll give you $50.
Yeah, if you put it on YouTube and you have a Patreon, let me know. There's money coming your way.
It's gonna happen.
Now I'm gonna have to search YouTube to see if there's Muppet Babies clips with Mona Lisa as Miss Nanny, and if not, I might have to try and figure out how to make them myself.
We need to band together.
Disney Channel, don't come after me with your DMCA claims. Like, this is funny stuff. We got to put it out there.
This is comedy gold, people.
So Tom Haverford, ex Parks and Rec department employee, and John Ralphio, who we said is a trust fund kid, and then he got run over Alexis. So he's got the money to front, basically to rent out this airplane hangar and start this business. Tom Haverford, he's the idea guy. Like you said, he comes up with the idea of what to do and the name of it. Let's talk about their office.
Dude, their office
so much shit going on in their office.
So dope. No shit. It's like 15 music videos ranging from country to rap, all wrapped up in one airplane hangar. It is bananas.
I think the best way to do it is just rapid fire everything that I picked up, and if I miss anything, you point it out, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite things.
Hit me.
So it's in the hollowed out airplane hangar that you're standing in right now. They call it the Dreamatorium, which may or may not be stolen from Community, but I'm okay with that. It's 2 blocks from City Hall, which is good for Tom. He can go back and forth to the Parks and Rec department as needed. They got a pool table. They've got a ping pong table. They've got a lounge area. They've got a couch with a ceiling on it, and lots of other strange seating arrangements. I'm not quite sure what was going on with all the chairs. In-house DJ Blunts.
DJ Blunts.
Detlef Schrempf is on retainer. He gives them great business advice, but really he's just there to look pretty and shoot baskets.
He's not pretty. He
tells them they've got a lot of overhead and maybe they should get some clients first. But
what does he know?
That's not what he's there for.
No.
They've got the Money Bowl, which is just their petty cash in a clear plastic toilet bowl. Basketball anytime you want with Roy Hibbert and Detlef Schrempf, obviously. The NBA was on strike at this time, so they got Hibbert for like 75% of his NBA salary. That's a good deal.
That's a great deal, especially Roy Hibbert was in his prime when these episodes were airing.
And it was a very short prime, so
yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, if that says anything.
They've got a lot of paid models just hanging out. The receptionist gets paid $100,000 plus full benefits.
Full bennies,
does
baby.
Absolutely nothing. They've got a party button, free iPads for every guest, and a video of a boat.
Yes. Those
also are the features I had.
A row of like little offices up top in the hangar, and there's usually just random people hanging out, sleeping. There's that.
Yeah, I think those are the models that just get paid to hang out.
All of it. Yeah, I want to say you're right. I don't know.
Roy Hibbert's getting it in there too. With
lots of food. I assume there's a personal chef on retainer because they're always eating funky shit.
Detlef Schrempf can't cook. No way.
Well, I mean, I always thought his name was Detlef Schrempf. And
Schrempf.
Well, yeah, I turned on the subtitles one time and saw Shrimp. I was like, no fucking shit. Okay. That makes a lot more sense because he's, Scandinavian or something.
I'm really surprised they didn't have Tilda Bird in there.
I don't know who that is.
Yep. Tilda Bird was Larry Bird's great aunt.
I thought you said Tilda Bird, and I'm like, who?
No, Bird.
Yeah.
They got fucking Tilda?
No. Tilda? She can ball, man. Who do you think taught Larry?
Exactly.
She's like, come here, little ugly boy. We're going to play some basketball.
But yeah, top of the line, state-of-the-art offices here for Entertainment 720. If the look was all that went into a business, they would have been millionaires in an instant.
A++.
What was your favorite thing and just some others that you like that you would like to have in your office?
A Money Bowl. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's classy as fuck.
Really? A big clear toilet bowl?
Yeah, dude. It's full of money. Money is
that's
classy.
True. That's true.
I mean, everybody knows that.
You can't beat money.
Honestly, I gotta say, I would like to have like Roy Hibbert just hang around my house, because then no one would ever fuck with your house ever. I know that's just a minimal.
Is Roy Hibbert a tough guy though?
No, but he's like 7 foot tall and probably 255 pounds.
Yeah, I was kind of saying, like, basketball with Roy Hibbert and Detlef would be really, really dope.
For like 10 minutes until both their knees gave out.
That's true. And they blocked every shot I took.
Yeah. Bitch.
I really think I like the idea of the video of the boat. That would just entrance the hell out of me. Like, is it the same boat all the time? Whose boat is it? How many people are on the boat and who are they? Where is it going? Why is it going there? I feel like eventually I would just come up with this entire backstory for what's going on with this boat. Or several boats. I'd just sit there and make it up, and then when people come in, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Tom Straussmore's boat. He's going to Haiti, and he's got some models with him."
It's like, Calvin, honey, we need to go. The goddamn boat, honey. They're going 73 miles per hour on the lake. It's unsafe.
It turned around now. Oh my god. What's going on?
Did you see that?
It's like in The Office where they're watching the DVD bounce around and waiting for it to get in the corner. It would be like that, but with the boat in my head constantly of like, where's the boat going now? Did it turn a different direction? Is it in the Atlantic? Is it in the Pacific?
I wonder if it's lonely.
I gots to know. Yeah. Or does it have boat friends hanging out?
Does it make friends with the aquatic wildlife? Who knows?
Yeah.
Next time
is there aquatic wildlife around it, or is it scaring everything off? Can you ski behind this boat? A lot of things going on with the boat, man.
I totally would not jet ski. Just saying, if you could do that, because jet skiing sucks. I'm going to throw that out there.
All right. To each his own. So now we're going to dive deeper into what Entertainment 720 actually did. As we mentioned, they're a multimedia conglomerate. To me, that doesn't really mean anything.
It's just a bunch of words.
But it's, yeah.
We're a premier, high-end, all-media entertainment conglomerate. Which is just like,
it sounds cool.
Talking a bunch of crap.
Yeah, they're really nothing. But as part of being nothing, they held a lot of events, or some events. I won't say a lot, because I think I counted 3.
Bold ones for a mid-range, small Midwestern town.
Yeah, but they went all out on these 3 events, that's for sure.
They went banana land. They really did. They did a good job.
So let's talk about the first unofficial entertainment. This is really where Entertainment 720 was born, as some would say. Little Sebastian's memorial service.
Little Sebastian.
This was tough. This was tough for everyone involved. Little Sebastian, the miniature horse, dying early. He was gone before his time.
He's the greatest mini horse that ever lived.
But the Parks and Rec department, along with Entertainment 720 founders Tom Haverford, John Raphael Saperstein, put on one hell of an event to memorialize him.
Yeah, no kidding. With the backing of the city committee or whatever that Leslie's on.
Yeah, they had everything going in this. They bring in Little Sebastian's 2 best friends, which you gotta, their friends gotta be there for the memorial service. They've got an eternal flame lit by Ron Swanson himself. Maybe somebody put in lighter fluid instead of propane.
It's basically the same thing.
Larry, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I think it's Jerry at this point.
Oh,
it might be Gary.
Was it Terry?
I don't know. It might just be Barry.
I don't think he ever went by Barry. Barry might be the only one he never went by.
He's Barry in my heart.
He'll always be Barry to me.
Yeah.
Jim O'Heir is absolutely hilarious. Like, if you've heard him on anything other, he's hilarious in Parks and Rec as Jerry, but he's hilarious elsewhere as well. And he actually was up for the part of Ron Swanson and didn't get it and got Jerry instead.
That must have been especially as the seasons went on, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, but think for a second of Jerry as Ron instead. Like, that actor as Ron.
He's been in a couple other things I've seen. He'll pop up randomly here and there. I couldn't envision him as Ron. I definitely couldn't.
No, but it would be Ron would have to be a completely different character, 100%.
He would just be that goofy laugh he has. He would do that all the time.
Yeah, I think he would still be married to Christy Brinkley in that universe, though.
We can only hope.
Somehow, Chris Traeger, Ben Wyatt, they don't get it. Nobody gets it.
He has the largest penis that doctor's ever seen.
He forgot to check him for mumps.
Yeah, it's the largest penis I've ever seen.
So back to Lil Sebastian, who also has a large penis. That's a good segue there.
He fucking does, man. They are all about letting you know. Like, hey, everyone around here has big wieners. Just so you know. Even the horses.
We get a video presentation of Lil Sebastian's life narrated by Tom himself. We get some issues that come up when the maintenance man, he mysteriously disappears. May or may not have gotten paid off by some public officials. We don't know. We're not going into that right now.
Yeah, it might come up later, but, I'll leave that unturned.
Yeah, but he wasn't there. That's where we get the problems with the Eternal Flame. We get problem with some of the musical acts. Lots of things going on. But then, the real hammer of this event is the original song performed by Mouse Rat's Andy Dwyer, 5,000 Candles in the Wind.
What's better than a candle in the wind?
5,000. What about 5,001 Candles in the Wind?
Touche. Yeah.
Bye, Grandma. Bye, little Sebastian.
Yeah, he jams.
Yeah, it's a great song. And every time I hear it, a tear comes to my eye a little bit. I miss Lil Sebastian that much more.
He is near and dear to my heart.
All in all, to me, this was Entertainment 720's best event that they managed, because they had to make up for all the mistakes made by the bumbling Parks and Rec department. John Ralphio and Tom are there picking up the pieces of everything that had fallen apart by Leslie Knope and Ben Wyatt, sending this maintenance man home early. Everything fell apart from there.
They did a great job, but I think it's ironic that they weren't Entertainment 720 yet, technically. So it's like,
I think it gave them a false sense of bravado going into this venture too.
Definitely.
Like they were like, we did this. We made it look easy with this event that should not have been easy. And it was one of the biggest events in the state's history. Everybody in the state loved Lil Sebastian, not just the people from Pawnee.
This is news to me. But I mean, still.
I don't know, I just made it up, so.
Yeah. I mean, it is a fictional universe, so
why can't I make things up too?
Wikipedia. Facts, man. Facts.
The whole nation is watching this memorial service.
I imagine.
It's just going to keep growing every time I talk about it.
It's growing in my heart even more.
Yeah. As the nation watches, Entertainment 720 comes to the forefront, does a great job, puts everything together. Really, nobody even noticed that anything went wrong, other than maybe one man's face lighting on fire. But again, I think everybody was so wowed by the fireball, they probably didn't even notice his face.
Yeah, they probably could care less. They're probably like, yeah, fire, woo!
Yeah, people in Pawnee are not, they're not too, caring for other people.
They're kind of mean.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. In fact,
first in friendship, fourth in obesity.
And they get jammed a lot. By Jeremy Jam.
I'm glad Jeremy Jam wasn't part of Entertainment 720.
Me fucking too.
He sucked.
Yeah, he was not cool.
Do you have any other thoughts on Lil Sebastian's memorial service? I think I covered most of the things that happened.
I'd say
we had a great poem read, great Italian poem read by Donna Meagle.
Yeah, that was awful.
She did a good job.
That's how I spoke Latin when they made me read Latin in class back in the day in high school. Di amore. Exactly. Yeah, I was not very good at it at all. Neither was she.
No, she wasn't. She should have been singing. She has a lovely singing voice. We see later in this series. Maybe she should have been doing backup vocals for 5,000 Candles in the Wind, something like that. I don't know, but she should not be reading Italian poems. That's for damn sure.
Definitely not. Maybe if she sang Italian poems, that might be a little better.
That could have worked. Or she sold the real estate for Italian poems.
Latin poems?
Whatever. Regal Meagle, man.
Yeah. We're Latin as fuck. That would mean different things, actually.
That could mean very different things. The next event we get from Entertainment 720 is Leslie Knope's campaign event at the Chamber of Commerce, basically just to hobnob with local small business owners to show that, she's running for city council and she has small business owners in mind when making policy.
She's just trying to rub elbows with the right people, like Kern's rubber nipples.
Yeah.
He got
Kearns or Kernston?
I think it's Kernston. It might be Kernston's.
It's just basically we want to give some background info on Leslie. There's some important attendees there. Like you said, Kernston rubber nipples. She just basically wants to be prepared to brown nose anyone she can. That was Entertainment 720's job here, was to get her all the info that they could on who's going to be there and to build her up.
And they fucked that up big time. This is when
if you take the highs of Lil Sebastian's memorial service, 5,000 candles in the wind, this is the exact opposite of that.
This is what I was saying when it was like they did a good job and they weren't who they were going to be. This is what they were going to be, and it's terrible. Tom's face is on everything. It's fucking bananas.
Haven't you always wanted to be a rug, though?
No, I have not. I don't even like looking at my face in the mirror, let alone being surrounded by it.
I'm the same way. When I was snowboarding last weekend, there were some people like at the top of the mountain. They're like, "Hey, can you take a picture of us?" I was like, "Okay, sure." And they're like, "Hey, do you want us to take a picture of you?" I was like, "No, not at all."
How dare you ask me that?
I'll just take the picture outwards. I don't want to take one of my face. That's why all of the pictures I posted, I had all of my gear covering my face.
I thought so. I was wondering about that. I mean, that's what
I still don't think the listeners of a podcast about something know what my face looks like.
I would hope they don't know what mine looks like either. Don't go snooping, folks.
Oh, I'm sharing it out to the world.
You motherfucker.
But as Nick pointed out, all of the branding for this event, instead of being for Leslie, is for Entertainment 720. They got rugs, they got table numbers, they got a cake with Tom's face on it. All of the signage, everything, Tom's face, Entertainment 720's weird-ass logo.
It's a terrible logo, too. I forget who says that to him, but it is
Leslie does at this event.
Horrible. It makes zero sense.
It's nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense.
They go by shorthand E720, and it's basically literally like an E and a 7, and it's all jacked up. It makes zero sense.
What is it? The 7 is on the left side, and it's huge. And then there's an E in a circle, and then Wenti is spelled out because there's like a line across the 7, so that's the T in 20, but then the rest of 20 is spelled. It's nonsense. I never really noticed it until like I was watching this last time. She pointed that out, and I was like, wow, yeah, that is a bad logo.
Yeah, that is fucking terrible. But that is exactly what Jean-Ralphio would design. I bet money.
Yeah, that's got to be a Jean-Ralphio idea. And not even like an idea of like, hey, let's take our letters and do that. Like, he drew that shit on a napkin and was like, boom, that's our logo.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much, or he just, went up to a bum and was like, hey, let me describe this to you. Can you, transcribe it onto some cardboard? And I'll take
a bum or like his pill dealer.
Yeah, pills. Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. His bum pill dealer.
And Tom just completely takes this opportunity to build up Entertainment 720, 2 local businesses, tries to score more events for himself instead of, building up Leslie, which, I mean, great. You got to get out there. You got to guerrilla market. But at the same time, you were hired to run an event for Leslie. You got to do your job, man. Seriously. Nobody's going to look at this and be like, hey, you ran that event for Leslie. That was shit.
Yeah, that was garbage.
That's what people are going to say. Yeah.
And at the same time, you're getting paid for this one. Isn't he getting paid for that? I believe he did.
Yes, he did get paid, and he calls up Leslie to give her speech to finally promote herself, and cuts her off in the middle of it, plays his own Entertainment 720 promotional film with fake testimonials from quote-unquote prominent figures, maybe like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that was, let's face it, booking Entertainment 720 was the greatest decision I ever made. I'm Mark Zuckerberg.
Whoa, did you guys see that?
It's just fucking bananas. They really, Tom especially really does Leslie dirty during this event, as we've kind of said.
Yeah, she's one of his oldest friends. They used to work together.
Without her, there would be no E720 because,
absolutely.
Without the work of Leslie Knope, there would be no way he'd be able to leave the office in a part-time nature. Yeah. She does the work of 15 people.
If Leslie Knope was not working there, Tom would actually have to work there at the Parks and Rec department, and you wouldn't have time to do other things.
No.
Now, there was one cool thing going on at this party for Leslie. The Entertainment 720 mobile hot tub. I would have taken a dip.
It depends on who...
Yeah, if Kernston Rubber Nipples got in there, I probably wouldn't have been in there.
Yeah, he hops in, he's like, hey, I cut my own hair.
But chilling with Tommy Timberlake and Leslie, yeah, I'd be down for that.
What speeds are we? Oh, we're not going through my town. There's so many potholes everywhere. There would be zero water left in that thing.
But well, yes, they can't go over 35 anyways, as we learn later.
I would not go 35 in the back of. Fuck that. Let me just say that right now.
I don't think you're supposed to ride in the hot tub part while it's in motion.
But that was the
I'm pretty sure you have to get inside the limo. Well, I think you gotta get in the limo and then you go to the next place and get in the hot tub. And then you get back in the limo, you go somewhere else, you get back in the hot tub, pick up some more girls, or in this case, probably dudes, because they would be the only ones impressed by it.
Yeah, they'd be like, dude, that's a sweet ride. Can I take
Let's face it, there's 100% no way a woman gets in this hot tub.
No, probably not. Not with any self-respect. Well, Leslie did. But
Leslie did, but that was kind of a different, like, she was there to beat the shit out of Tom because he screwed her up and, basically lost her support of these small businesses due to their extravagance. Like, they were small businesses, they wanted to work with people on a small scale, and the extravagance of Entertainment 720 kind of blew their minds. They didn't like that.
Yeah, and Leslie super didn't like that. She tried to drown him, which is sad, its legacy. It would not be able to see itself fulfilled with all the men in jean shorts trying to take a dip while the ladies just watch.
Would you think, though, had she actually drowned Tom there, I think that would have boosted Entertainment 720's value there.
Yeah, as soon as they put a tweet
tragic death of a founder.
Tom now dead.
Yeah. At one of the events.
Until John Ralphio opens.
Until John Ralphio actually books an event and has to do something. Yeah, that's going to be rough. Maybe Roy Hibbert will help out, though.
Yeah. I only need 95% of the proceeds, and I'll help you, John Ralphio.
But, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about why Tom was doing this. He had just learned that Entertainment 720 was bankrupt right before this event started, so he was trying to garner some support for his own business, try and get it out of the red. It was just, bad timing for that. Leslie really needed his help.
Desperately, and he really needed Leslie's help, and he kind of failed both of them.
Because if he'd have just put on a good event, some of the small businesses, those small businesses would have been looking to book him. But instead, he tried to go above and beyond and went to fucking outer space with it.
Yeah, he just did not listen to anybody, and by doing that, that just kind of completely fucked him. Especially because he's a novice at this point and has no idea how to run a business.
He's a novice, but he's also a little bit of a savant. Like,
he totally is.
He doesn't know how to run the business side of it, and he lets himself get talked into bad ideas by John Ralphio constantly. Like, I would have to assume that all of the extravagance of their office is 90% John Ralphio's ideas, 10% Tom's.
Oh, no, I disagree. It's probably a 50-50 split. John Ralphio
he is in super debt with Sky Mall. So
super debt. He's in super debt with everything. That one time Ann Perkins goes through like all the amenities in his
That's
apartment.
Honestly one of my favorite episodes. Like just going through his apartment. That and the camping episode where he's got all of Sky Mall shit in his camping tent.
Yeah, I would totally not do that because I would rather not have to call them and cry to return it. But still, that'd be kind of cool.
I forgot about his scheme that he orders a bunch of shit and then cries till they let him return it.
The key is to cry a lot.
But he knows what he's doing in throwing these events. He puts on Little Sebastian's memorial. The Harvest Festival had a lot of his ideas in it. The Unity concert in season 7 has a lot of his ideas going into it. The End of the World party that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, that's a lot of his ideas. Like, all of those were great events that had a lot of his ideas put into them. And I just feel like if there's somebody in his ear telling him that his bad idea is a good idea, he's going to run with it. And John Ralphio is a bad business partner in that sense.
Especially, a bad business partner who has no get up and go. And Tom will fucking dilly-dally all day.
Well, so I feel like that phone call that he got from John Ralphio saying that they were bankrupt went like this. Hey, oh shit, we're bankrupt? That sucks. Well, we got to do this event. And then John Ralphio's on the other end going, hey, how about you make it an event for us instead? Yeah. And Tom's like, that's a great idea.
Let's do it. We deserve it.
Yeah, we need business more than Leslie. Leslie's a great politician. She's going to get elected. Don't worry about that. And so he has great ideas, but he also has a lot of bad ideas. And usually the people around him, Leslie, Ron, Donna, they'll tell him his bad ideas are bad. Jean-Ralphio will tell him his bad ideas are fantastic, which is not good for Tom. Because if he hears something's a good idea, he runs with it.
Not to mention, he's just the most out there character in the entirety of the show, which Tom Haverford is very much so out there. He's got a weird ass taste, man. He's just very, very.
He's just not in the right place.
No.
He needs to live in Chicago, LA, New York. He needs to be in a big city where the things that people of Pawnee find weird fit in somewhere. There's nobody in Pawnee that he's fitting in with except Jean-Ralphio. And he doesn't even really fit in with Jean-Ralphio. Jean-Ralphio is just the closest to Tom's baller swagger side.
Which is still, way the fuck out there from everyone else in the entirety of the city.
Yeah, absolutely. Except also Mona Lisa.
Dude, you got me. You fucking got me.
And lost in this whole event is this great tribute video he made for Leslie. He didn't get a chance to play it at the event, but it was amazing, and she was going to have it projected on her tombstone when she died. That's how great it was.
Sweetest thing ever. He does the same thing to Ben later, too, and it's just, you selfish bitch.
Yes, he does. When Ben wins some award, he talks about himself the whole time. He can't get through himself sometimes, and it's rough.
Happens to the best of us.
Because if he would just stick with some of his good ideas and let them flow naturally, he would have been successful a long time ago.
Oh yeah, and Wade made
snake
way
juice,
more money.
Great idea. Everybody got hammered off it. Everybody loved it.
That's why you mass market it and put it in gas stations. Boom.
Tommy Fresh smelled like baby diapers, but I think it fit right in with the Feinstein line. Just, Dennis Feinstein
smelled like
wasn't
baby
having
diapers,
it at that
but
time.
Sorry, I'm being an ass. But I don't know if that fits in necessarily with
that wasn't a good idea.
Ravage and whatever the fuck else he came up with. It all sounded
Sweat.
like rapey shit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they could rebrand it as something more rapey.
They could, I guess.
Tommy's balls.
He's small, like a baby. It's Tommy's balls.
I don't want to beat a dead horse on Leslie's campaign event that never was. She did eventually get elected for city council, so I think we have some of Tom Haverford to, we got to give him a little bit of credit for that. He did call up Kernston from Kernston's Rubber Nipples eventually and tell him what the deal was, showed him the video, and, she got a little more support in the community.
She got a lot more support in the community. I think the spectacle of it, too, kind of helped at least get Leslie's name out there. And he causes a spectacle better than anyone on that show.
That's true. There's no such thing as bad publicity sometimes, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would think so, but apparently not.
So let's go to their last official event. The end of the world party.
The greatest event of all time.
Yeah, the perfect party. One last blowout using all of Entertainment 720's leftover money, and it happened to coincide with Pawnee's local cult's end of the world prediction. The followers of reasonableism thought the return of Zorp was happening this night, so why not throw the party to end all parties, right?
You got to. And there's a lot of flute playing and all kinds of weird shit going on.
Can we just take a detour into Zorp for a second? And how great, within the, not a full, thing into what Zorp is and how he's the Lizard King and all that, just what a great, little thing to add into the show, this cult, because they were mentioned a couple times before and they're mentioned a couple times after, and it all culminates kind of in this thing where they're like, oh, Zorp's coming back and we need the park. Because little towns have shit like that going on.
So often, dude.
There's only 20 members in these cults, but they still permeate the entire community somehow.
Yeah, and they're rabid. Very, very rabid. No, not necessarily. They're pretty relaxed, actually, in this version.
My parents had lived in this small town in Wisconsin that had, they say it's a cult. I have no way of confirming that, but there was supposedly a cult, and they ran 4 gas stations in the area. And then they, if you ever drove past their commune, it was probably 3 houses. there was somebody like outside just to stare you down if you drove past more than one time.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like they said they'd have like a shotgun on the porch with them. They would never like pick it up and point it at you, but like it'd be there and they'd be staring into your soul as you passed. So like
fucking throw shit at them.
Just the idea of Mike Schur and Greg Daniels to like throw something like that in there and then have it culminate in like, oh no, we really, there is something we believe. And then where it all came from is like this dude wrote this book and it was like Organize Your Life book. And then the second one, he just goes full batshit insane on like, yeah, the lizard god is coming to get us all. He melts your face off.
Turn us all into like people magma.
If you live in a small town with a cult, hit us up on Twitter at APA something at alone_podcast. We would love to hear about your town's cult. If you're in one of these cults, good for you for getting to listen to a podcast.
Yeah, I mean most cults still get to do that.
Can you build the rest of your cult around this pod? Like, we're fine.
Just give us money.
Issuing to the cult. Yeah.
As long
like,
as
just be like, hey, we will be the official podcast of your cult.
I'll be your mascot.
Something like that.
No, I don't want to be your spokesperson. That'd be fucked up.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I mean, you can kind of use my
if you all listen to us, that's fine.
Yeah, just give us your...
You don't know what either of us look like, as mentioned, so...
I hope not. But they'll find you. Those cults, they have a way. They always have, like, one hacker within the church.
I feel like they don't have any technological abilities.
You know, there's a Amish dude or something similar to that out there with hella hacking skills.
Like Seth Green in Sex Drive?
Yeah, exactly.
You ever see that movie?
I saw it years and years ago.
It's pretty funny. I still enjoy it sometimes. Anyway, back to the end of the world part. Let's talk some features. What do you got? You list some features first, and I'll come in on top of it.
Dude, this thing is fucking bananas. They got gift bags. Don't they have a tiger?
Yes, Bengal tiger in the building.
Yeah, they got a Bengal tiger in the building. They have a VIP lounge, and then they have like platinum, silver, and all that stuff. And then they have a VIP lounge that they can't even get into.
The entire party is a VIP area. There's a double VIP area, a triple VIP area, and a Centurion Club, which is the elite VIP area, sponsored by Sobe Lifewater. No one's allowed in there.
Not even us.
Which is funny. Like, what the fuck's the point? What is Sobe Lifewater doing sponsoring this space that nobody can even go in?
Because they are...
Shout out Sobe Lifewater.
Yeah, bro. They're as under the bridge as they are.
If you want to sponsor something else that nobody participates in, we're here for you.
Yeah, we'll take your money. Sobe Lifewater.
We have very few listeners. I think that qualifies as the Centurion Club. That's what we just need to turn this podcast into. This is the Centurion Club of podcasts.
I mean, that's it.
We don't have a lot of listeners because it's that elite.
We are that elite. We are elite.
It's exclusive, man.
Exclusive as fuck. Just like this party where they have, designated drivers and taxis to take you home.
I like how they got the big bows on the designated driver cars.
That is so wonderful. I would love to find a bow after getting shit-faced all night. That'd be great.
Well, if you're the designated driver, you probably shouldn't be shit-faced.
Well, the designated driver would be like, get that shit off my car. And I would be like, oh, yes, goody. And I get to unwrap this car.
They'd have 4 people in the back seat, like, fighting over the bow. This bow is awesome.
Yeah, you guys can have that shit. I'm sitting shotgun, and, you guys can fight over the bow. Fuck that. We're hitting Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But they
Definitely gotta go to Taco Bell.
What else do they got? Dude, they got the security guards who even threw Tom out. Water under the bridge.
And they all have earpieces, too.
Yeah. DJ Blunt. He's in the building.
Spinning tracks. Obviously, you gotta have him. 6 open bars. They got the Snake Juice Ice Slide. Craps and roulette. They got a pirate ship bounce house. Free fedoras, which, ew. A makeout room. A drum line comes in later. And only 200 people are admitted to maintain exclusivity, which that's what we talked about. And just back to the shrimp wall, they got Roy Hibbert as a special shrimp distributor. He's back in the game.
Yeah, literally just handing out shrimp cocktails.
If I could hire Roy Hibbert for a day, that'd be what I'd have him doing. I'd just put a bunch of shit up high and be like, you did it on Parks and Rec, man.
Hey, can you hang this up there, buddy? Please? I don't know. I would have him do ridiculous shit with food. Like, I'd be like, hey, go dunk this, pineapple as hard as you can. I want to see it explode.
Yeah. That's something.
It's the little things in life.
What if you were attending this party? What would your favorite thing be?
Fucking tiger, for sure.
See, I gotta go the opposite direction, man.
Dude, no way. I'd be hanging out with the tiger all night.
This seems like such a terrible idea. There's flashing lights, loud music. This tiger's gonna go insane and rip somebody's arm off.
Yeah, it would probably be mine, because I'll be the dumbass that's like, hey, kitty,
the one sitting next to him.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy. Here's some shrimp.
No, can't. No, I'm not going anywhere near that tiger. I would probably most likely be sitting at the roulette table all night, which is not even the best part of the party, but I may or may not be addicted to gambling. I shouldn't say that, because it's not really a problem, but
if there's money to be made, I want to make it.
If there's gambling around, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Play a little blackjack, unfortunately.
I can cut myself off as needed, but... And the giant bows. I like the giant bows. It's a really good flourish to, give something back to the designated drivers.
It's such a nice touch. It's like, you are loved.
Because no one in their life has ever been a part of a car commercial where the wife comes out on Christmas Day and there's a giant bow on a new car. Like, that's not a thing that happens, ever. Even rich people don't fucking do that shit. First of all, the wife's not going to take a car that she didn't get to test drive in the color that she didn't pick and the car that she didn't pick. Like, you're not showing up with a fucking car on Christmas Day and giving it to your wife and she's going to be like, oh yeah, awesome. Never going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. She'd be like, I really, now that I see it in person, I don't think I like that color.
Exactly. So the giant bow on cars, like, that's super understated. It's overstated in car commercials. Like, that never happens. So to have that feeling of, like, you would think you just got your own car for Christmas coming out of that party.
It'd be so great. It's like, oh my god, it's my shitty 94 Honda. Yay!
Because everybody in Pawnee is driving a 94 Honda, I have to imagine.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
That or, like, a 79 station wagon.
I like the drumline, too. I'm always there for a drumline.
They were fucking good, too.
I had, in college, one year I lived with 3 guys that were on our school's drumline. That was a cool time.
I bet that was annoying as fuck if they practiced in the house.
They didn't really. One guy had a drum set, and he would only play it, like, when we were all just sitting there chilling. They weren't, like, they didn't bring they had practice and shit. They didn't bring their shit home, so.
That's cool. At least they were somewhat considerate.
Yeah, I don't know if they're allowed to bring it home because it wasn't their stuff.
Like, hey, this shit's expensive, bro, and you can't take it home.
Yeah. Do we miss any Entertainment 720 events? Do we miss anything about the end of the world party?
I'm sure there's little nuances that we missed, considering Tom got Lucy back, or at least she came and saw him, and he got some smoochy boochies and all that good stuff. But it was one of those parties that was so extravagant. I would just feel uncomfortable the whole fucking time, and it was definitely their most extravagant event. I would love to go to Little Sebastian's funeral, or his whatever the fuck,
the memorial service.
Yeah,
that doesn't feel as personal. Like, there's a big crowd there, but nobody's focusing on you at that point. With only 200 people at the end of the world party, you'd feel like there's eyes on you.
Oh yeah.
You got to be doing something. If you just wanted to chill out at this party, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, this is not for you. And I'd be the guy that's like, yeah, can I get a Bud Light? Wearing my
that's me
Walmart
too. Like,
polo.
I go to the bar, I get my Miller Lite, I find a seat, and I post up. Like, that's all I'm doing. I don't want to be in the middle of everything that's going on. Like, just let me find somewhere to sit and chat. That's all I want to do. You can't do that at the end of the world party.
Hell no.
Now, on the other side of that, if I could sit there and gamble the whole time, I'd be cool with that too. So
yeah, as long as they serve me drinks, I'd be all right.
So let's talk about the hard part. Wait, not yet. We got to mention, before we move on to the hard part of this, something very important happened in the middle of Entertainment 720's run. Treat Yourself Day.
Treat Yourself 2011.
One of the seminal episodes, or just events on a TV show, I would have to say. It's become part of just vernacular nowadays that people know what Treat Yourself, even if they don't watch Parks and Rec, like, Treat Yourself is a thing that's out there now. And we gotta give a little bit of that to Entertainment 720, because if Tom wasn't spending his money like crazy on Entertainment 720, would he have gone out for a Treat Yourself Day this year? If he was just running a business like a responsible person, there's no way he would have been going to Treat Yourself 2011.
Hell no.
I know he did it in the past. He and Donna did it in the past before that, but he didn't have a startup at that point. So if he's, I feel like the year that Tom's Bistro launched, he's not going for Treat Yourself 2014, right? That was when Tom's Bistro launched?
I think so.
There's definitely no Treat Yourself Day 2014. I got to say that.
Yeah, there's no way.
But with the extravagance of Entertainment 720, you get Treat Yourself Day, whatever you want, clothes.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Acupuncture.
Treat yourself.
Video games.
Treat yourself.
Batman suits.
Motherfucking treat yourself.
Socks. Plain white socks.
No. No.
Ben Wyatt is by far a relaxation novice. You got to give it to him. Have you ever felt the need to just like treat yourself in that way, where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna spend something ridiculous because I deserve it?
Hell no. I might get a little thing here or there, but I've never been like, yeah, I'm gonna go drop thousands of dollars, or at least,
on a whole day. Yeah,
more than $500 on shit for myself.
It also definitely helped that Tom and Donna, neither of them had families.
That also
very
helps.
Easy to have treat yourself days when no kids to take care of, no wife to share finances with, probably live in cheap-ish apartments, they don't have a mortgage or anything like that probably at this time.
Government employees make good money.
I will say Donna's got the Benz, so that, she's got some money floating around. She still has her shares in the Snake Hole Lounge.
She's got that condo out in Seattle.
Yep, that's true. It's almost paid off.
So
she's got some side hustles going. She's probably John Ralphio's pill dealer.
That would break my heart.
Are you under the impression that Donna is like this moral high ground person?
No, but I don't think she's a low ground person.
All right, you don't think she's quite the pill dealer?
No,
John Ralphio?
Not quite.
But maybe she's just John Ralphio's pill dealer, and she's giving him placebos constantly because he's such a fucking moron.
I could honestly see Donna doing that.
Yes, so could I.
I could totally see that shit.
I don't think I've ever had like a full just like anything I want, let's go crazy. The most I'll say I did is I bought most of my Amazon wish list one time after I got my bonus.
I bet that was so satisfying too.
It was like $dollars worth of stuff.
Jesus Christ.
But it was like all kinds of different stuff, and there was some stuff for my kids, things like that, but it was just like all the stuff that I was like, I never, it was always too much that I could just buy it outright, but also not enough that it was like a birthday present kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a bunch of different things that I was like, I just kept adding, and I was like, okay, I got my bonus in, had a good bonus, I got enough money to put aside for like the kids' school and this other thing, and like we break down everything that we need our bonuses for first, and then this is how much is left over, and so I could spend that money, and then we still had money left over for other things after that, so it felt good.
Fuck yeah.
But I wasn't going to get massages or anything like that. I didn't just have like a day. It was literally like, okay, how can I maximize this money to the things on my Amazon wish list?
I would have way too much fun getting the best. Like, I don't know. I would spend hours on that list. I know I fucking would.
Yeah, I pretty much did. Because I got like six Amazon wish lists, so I had to take things from all of them. I didn't want to just get like all collectibles or all like household things. I needed to mix and match.
Well, I guess that's basically what they're doing, but it's in a mall. And so it's in that ancient form of shopping in a mall.
I think the difference is that they spend their time doing, like the enjoyment from them is going into the stores, trying the different things on, seeing that it's expensive, and then getting that expensive thing. For me, it was when those packages showed up at my house. Like I didn't
open them all. It's like
yeah, it was basically like a Christmas in March,
Oh fuck yeah! I
didn't necessarily want to like just have this day where I spend with somebody picking all this shit out. Like no, I wanted to maximize my time with it and just get it into my house.
I don't blame you there. I just don't like shopping either. Like
no, I hate going into stores.
It bugs me.
Talking to people. It's rough. All right, so let's move on past Treat Yourself. In your mind, what happened to Entertainment 720? What caused it out? Like we know they ran out of money, obviously, but what was behind that running out of money?
John Ralphio Saperstein.
Ooh.
100%.
Damn. Shots
that
fired.
Guy. He's the funniest, but still. Super he may be the bank, but he's irresponsible. And like you said, he had that silver tongue for Tom. Like it always worked in his favor.
That sounded like weirdly sexual.
It did. I kind of thought about that after I said it, and I was just like, I'm going to plow ahead.
I like it. No,
but thanks,
good.
Calvin. Thanks, bro. Thanks.
I got to make sure the listeners understood.
They're going to turn to each other like, hey, man.
Sobe Lifewater needs the Silver Tongue sponsorship.
Silver Tongue Sobe Lifewater. It does not sponsor Jean-Ralphio Saperstein.
yeah, Jean-Ralphio...
It's all his fucking fault. I mean,
That's hard to argue with that. I'm going to, but it's hard to argue with it.
Yeah, it is really hard. Because you think Tom, without Jean-Ralphio, has pretty responsible sensibilities. Like, we see Tom's Bistro. He's not really involved with that, and it succeeds. I mean, he starts several...
Snake Juice, same thing. Like, he starts out small, and he tries to throw this party, and the only reason he had to sell, like, his shares in the Snake Hole Lounge and his rights to Snake Juice was because he got caught using his political position incorrectly.
Like a bad guy.
But he did, like, he was working it up slowly like he should have. Same thing with Tommy Fresh. He made a sample scent, brought it to the guy who could help him out. Now, Feinstein's a dick, so he can't hold on to that. But all of his other business ideas where Jean-Ralphio was not directly involved in decision-making were on the right path. They just had other speed bumps.
He has minimal outbursts of dorkiness. So, I mean, it's something where they're like little mini hiccups instead of just totally derailing the thing.
Exactly. I'm going to argue a little bit. I have a different opinion. My thing is, I think it's basically the same problem that we had with Prestige Worldwide. It's hard to gain, like, funding and support for a quote-unquote massive multimedia conglomerate that has no actual clients or vision or mission. It's just nothing. They're just words, like we said up at the top. Those words don't actually mean anything, And the problem on top of that is that Pawnee's not big enough to substantiate a multimedia conglomerate.
No, and I mean...
Like, you go on Perd Hapley or Joan Calamezzo, you're done. That's your media. That's all you need. You don't need this other company throwing events for you.
They needed to buy out those news outlets. That would have been a good start.
That would have helped. Run some Twitter campaigns or something like that. There's just no way that there are enough things going on in Pawnee that Entertainment 720 has enough clients to sustain them. Once a year, we see the Parks and Rec department throw kind of a big bash, but there aren't really that many events going on. Maybe you got to get in with Sweetums or something. Maybe
you got to get in with somebody.
Yeah,
and I mean, Sweetums has that national outreach, so that'd be the way to go.
Can't beat them, Sweetums.
Can't beat them, Sweetums. Sponsored by Entertainment 720. Boom.
There's a lot they could have done there. They could have made the Grizzle deal, 6 years early. Of course, Grizzle probably didn't exist 6 years earlier than that.
Probably not, the way the startups fucking come and go these days.
And then coming back to what you said, Tom and Jean-Ralphio were just absolutely terrible with their money and had some of the worst ideas.
Jean-Ralphio is super destructive. And how much do you want to bet most of that money was spent on a lawyer on retainer to defend him from, sexual whatchamacallit?
Harassment.
Yes, sexual harassment cases.
Let's go through some of these ideas and try to determine if it was Tom's bad idea or Jean-Ralphio's bad idea. Tell all potential clients that they're booked for the first 2 weeks.
Tom.
That sounds like a Tom.
That is so Tom's.
Giving away swag to all the Parks and Rec department before they have any clients. And, like, pretty substantial swag. That's Tom again, I gotta say.
I think that's Tom, yeah.
Because Jean-Ralphio doesn't give a shit about the Parks and Rec department.
No, except for Leslie. If it was Jean-Ralphio, it would have been like a giant bear or a car for Leslie.
And it would have been only to Leslie, and then he would have caught her in that deep stare.
Yeah.
And kind of grinded up on her a little. The all-black business cards that are super strong magnets.
Jean-Ralphio,
yeah, definitely. They bought a printing press and printed money with their faces and logo on it, then took it to clubs and threw it up and yelled, "Free money!"
Jean-Ralphio, yeah. That sounds super hard, Jean-Ralphio.
That's Jean-Ralphio. But, see, here's what would have happened in that case. Jean-Ralphio buys the printing press without even talking to Tom. And he goes, "Look, we can print money with our faces and logo on it." And then Tom would come in and be like, "Yo, then we'll go to the Snake Hole Lounge and throw it up in the air."
No, you forgot the part where Tom goes, "That's always been a dream of mine."
Exactly. Put even my face on it?
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Everybody's going to want this money.
So that one, you got to give credit to both of them, I think.
I think you're right.
Basketball Anytime with Roy Hibbert and Detlef Schrempf, which has to be super expensive because they're millionaires.
I want to say Tom.
But Tom doesn't like basketball. When Rent-A-Swag is another company that we haven't mentioned Rent-A-Swag yet, which is another great idea and great follow-through by Tom.
But they have like the intramural basketball league, stuff like that, where he's the referee. Everybody in Indiana likes basketball.
I think that's a Tom idea, even though he doesn't like basketball. He knows that everybody else does, so he thinks that would attract potential clients.
And he's right.
Paid models to just hang out. That's a combo deal right there.
That's a combo for sure.
Yeah. Jean-Ralphio floats the idea, and then Tom says, "Hey, and we can pay him."
Yeah, and we keep him on retainer.
The receptionist that gets paid $100,000 plus bennies.
Jesus, let me.
That's got to be both of them still. Same thing. Like they started paying these models to just hang out, and they're like, "Well, shit, they're still not sleeping with us. Let's give them benefits."
Yeah, they must need bennies and a bunch of free shit to do at work. Here's an iPad.
And then DJ Blunts is just constantly with Tom. That's got to be Tom's idea because he doesn't ever go anywhere with Jean-Ralphio.
And what I'm curious about is, does DJ Blunts come up with new records every time they hang out, or is this recycled shit?
And no, it's always new, as suggested by Jean-Ralphio. Is they never want to walk into the building to the same beat more than once, and he's going to charge them for each beat, even though the beats are pretty much the same. I think DJ Blunts is mailing it in. Like, he knows he's supposed to create a new beat, so he changes just a little bit. And Jean-Ralphio and Tom are too kind of like musically stupid to notice.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I would do.
And then they just pay him however much every time.
That'd be $30,000.
The best part is on Treat Yourself Day when Tom comes in the Parks and Rec department and DJ Blunts comes in first. He's got the boombox. DJ Blunts is in the building to announce Tom Haverford is in the building.
Is in the building.
That's great.
I mean, if I could announce myself like I get to work, it's like Nick Richardson is in the building, and then I just walk in and with my lunchbox and my shoulder bag.
I think you need to do that. You just need to record it. Put some reverb, something like that on it, and just have a little speaker every time you walk in. Play that right before you walk in the door. Or like, do you have a receptionist that you have to walk by? Give her the speaker and let her push play it when she sees you walking in.
She is like 100, so she'd be like, you hoodlum, the fuck out of here. I work with like 100-year-olds, so I mean, there's that. They'd probably call the cops.
Probably. Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Let's try this theory. If I get fired, you Patreon supporters with your $1 a month need to support me. Please and thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna need some of that.
I'm doing it for you.
So, Entertainment 720 was really ahead of its time and in the wrong place, just really any time. I would say the wrong place at the wrong time, but I don't think there is a right time for Entertainment 720 to exist in Pawnee, Indiana. Do you?
Not in Pawnee. That would...
Maybe after Grizzle moves in?
Yeah,
but probably not, because people are still like on the fence about Grizzle that whole time.
Maybe 25 years down the road, they'd be a good capital, but they should have moved to like LA. They would have been perfect for LA. LA would have gobbled them up.
I think they would have got lost in the sea of LA. Do you know how many multimedia conglomerates are probably in LA? Yeah. Probably like 6,000.
Probably just as many Instagram models.
And they're gonna go with the guys from Pawnee, Indiana that don't know anything about high society? Come on now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Jean-Ralphio's a trust fund baby. We just calling everybody baby today, baby.
I like that.
You like that?
We should have done that like we did with Babe on the Office episode.
I don't know. I couldn't listen to I do listen to these episodes after the fact, and I could not listen to myself say that again.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about Entertainment 720 before we move on to just some little quibbles with Parks and Rec?
I do not.
Okay. So here's my first one that I kind of relearned as I was going through season 4, soaking in everything I could about Entertainment 720. And I mentioned this before, that Ben Wyatt is the reason I got into Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. And it happens in season 4, the Treat Yourself episode, Pawnee Rangers. It has, again, no real impact on Entertainment 720, but Ben gives the following line about Game of Thrones. This is a little paraphrase, but they would never cancel Game of Thrones. It's not just for fantasy enthusiasts. They're telling human stories in a fantasy world. And like that line made me want to watch the first season of Game of Thrones.
Well, it sums it up like perfectly.
And
yeah, okay.
That line also, that summed up perfectly what Game of Thrones was, got completely lost in the last 2.5 seasons of the show. They're no longer telling human stories. Not to mention that most of the fantasy world eminence had been shied away from at this point. Like most of them, they kind of got into them. Like they did a little bit with dragons, they did a little bit with ice zombies. The Children of Forest were there for a little bit, but most of the fantasy stuff had been kind of pushed to the side. None of the characters were relatable anymore. They weren't even making decisions that were relatable to viewers in any way. We couldn't see ourselves reflected in the characters at this point. Things were just happening on the show, and then the show was telling us what we were seeing. Like things were happening, and then the show told us, hey, this is what happened. There was no room to like figure out why these characters did this, because there is no reason the characters did it. They did it because they had to be in a place because the show needed them in a place.
It's like, hey, did you see it? Did you see that? We just did this. Did you see it?
And we weren't allowed to feel anything that was happening in the last 2.5 seasons. And then Ben cries in a Batman suit, and there has never been a lower moment for nerds after that.
Dude, that was rough.
The height of why Game of Thrones is great, and the low of bawling your eyes out in a Batman suit. That is nerd life right there.
I needed this. And it's, you're in a rough place when what you need is to be in a Batman suit crying in a department store.
It's a rough look for Ben.
Yeah.
We will come back to Game of Thrones soon. I want to, in the next couple months, do some more, not probably Game of Thrones, but Song of Ice and Fire. I'd like to get back into that.
Down super game.
But losing this, how Ben summed it up, like that was something that hurt the show. And I didn't know where else I could fit it in. We've done a few Song of Ice and Fire episodes. We did the whole run on season 8 with War Get To Me, and I kind of lost this statement from Ben at that time, and so I figured I'd throw it in here because that sums up Game of Thrones perfectly and sums up why it sucked in the last 2 seasons.
That's a really good point. Something I haven't thought about.
And the last thing I want to talk about is probably the most important. The relationship between Chris Traeger and Millicent Kirkich also happens in season 4.
He's just
I don't
so
really
clingy.
know what to say.
He's clingy.
I mean, he's way clingy. The breakup was rough for him. That's kind of a perfect couple, though. I like Chris with Millicent better than with Anne.
Oh, yeah.
Think of how beautiful those children would be.
They'd be insane. They'd be creepy. They'd be so perfect. They'd be creepy as fuck.
I always liked it because they did a couple, like, Chris overshared with Jerry from, like, day one of their relationship of all of his intentions, and he wanted Jerry to be on their dates and this and that. And then they go to Andy and April's Halloween party, and Chris is just grinding the fuck out of Millicent right in front of Jerry. And the best part is April grabs, Jerry's wearing a Mr. Potato Head outfit, and it's got a smiley face. She grabs it and turns it upside down as like he's staring at Chris Traeger grinding the shit out of his daughter and gonna take her home later and do the same thing without clothes, probably.
Pretty much the exact same thing, the way they were dancing. It's like, oh yeah, he looks like he's banging her. But what's weird is when April does that, I'm pretty sure that was like either right above Gary Terry's shaft. Like, the way he kind of
it's a large shaft, as we know.
Yeah, it's fucking giant. So, I mean, there's a lot of territory there that she's got to avoid, and I don't think she did a good job.
No, it's a rough look for April. If Andy would have seen that, he would have been mad, but Andy was in the hospital. I was just... The Chris Traeger, Millicent Kirkich, it started off weird, it stayed weird in the middle, and then, like, Jerry's the one that knows that they're going to break up before anything, and it ended bad.
It ended real bad for Chris. He was in a big depression for a while after that.
Yeah, luckily Dr. Richard Nygaard was there for him. But it was just a rough time for him after Millicent broke up with him.
Thank God.
Fuck you, Millicent Kirkich.
You're kind of cute, though.
Yeah,
just saying.
Call me.
Yeah. Just call me. Text me while, not breaking up.
Guarantee I'm nowhere near as intense as Chris Traeger.
Calvin's out here spitting lines.
No, I'm not. Happily married. Stay away from me, Millicent Kirkich.
But for real, though. Calm.
Yeah, but for real. I'm here. All right, that's all we've got for Entertainment 720 in a little bit. Did you have anything else on Parks and Rec, or should we find another reason to talk about something in the future?
I'm game to talk Parks and Rec in the future, but I think I beat that horse enough for tonight.
Yeah, we're good. We're right at an hour. Perfect time to stop. So thank you for listening, and we'll be back to Pawnee at some point in our lifetime. You know, the show is going to be going for 50 years or so. At least. There's a lot of Pawnee to be explored. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/podcast, a podcast about something. Check out our merch store, tpublic.com/APA something. Check us out on Twitter at APA something and at alone_podcast. We got a new logo coming soon. I've got the final drafts for it now. I don't know when I'm actually going to make the switch, but it's going to be cool, and we'll put that on merch as well. So there will be a new design. You guys can buy the old design or the new one.
I'll have to get a new t-shirt.
Everybody's lapping up that merch right now, so you got to get your hands on it while it lasts.
That's how we do.
And all of the music for a podcast about something is provided by those cats.
You gotta stay sassy.
Stay classy.